Welcome back. Here we are again at CasitaBigDogRescue.com. We were just discussing before we went to our commercial break about this article that was in the Citrus Chronicle this week. It was called Pets, Not Pests. It was Deputy Laura Peckham, Supervisor, Citrus County Sheriff's Office, Animal Control Division. I've had the great privilege of working with Laura for about 3 years. Dedicated, hard-working individual, very tedious job. They get no acclimates for what they do. They're frowned on, people ridicule them, and it's terrible and horrible because the service they provide is invaluable. Her article was right to the point. It was about having dogs on a lead at all times, on how responsible pet owners should do that at all costs. I mean, so many things could happen. So that article is very poignant, and it is a law. So I would advise everyone to read that article, and then when you do read it, if you do have anything to say, I would really appreciate if you would make an educated comment. Rather than calling people names and pointing fingers, maybe you should take a look at yourself and understand what these officers have to go through. And they also had made some comments about some of the deputies in town, which again, without them, we'd be lost. Some of you people really offended me. You should be ashamed of yourselves, honestly. These people provide jobs that you could never imagine what they do. These sheriffs have to come out on the circumstances that truly put their lives in danger. And if it comes down to a point, no one loves dogs or animals more than myself. But if it comes to a point where one of these officers' lives are in danger and they have to resort to drastic measures to take care of their own life, to protect their own selves, they have every right to do that, and no one has a right to condemn them or question them. They are trained in these matters, and they deserve all the respect they can get. The animal control officers, they are out there doing the job of people, for people that are not responsible to do the job for themselves. They're out there patrolling the streets, making sure these dogs aren't running at large. A lot of these people get these animals and they just want to tie them up in their yard and they think they're going to be fine. They wind up getting loose. They give these dogs no kind of supervision, and then these dogs develop behavior problems. It becomes aggression, fear aggression. Children get bit, people get bit, all for the negligence of people that do not want to do the right thing. And by saying that, not doing the right thing, spaying and neutering your pets is very important. That is where it all begins. Education. Learn before you make comments that could be detrimental. That is energy that is truly wasted. Don't waste time on that. Focus on the positive, not the negative. Some comments were made about the shelter staff, stating that staff having bad attitudes. If you had to work for 1 hour doing what they did, doing what they do every day, and I know for a fact because I walked in those shoes and I did, and I used to have to euthanize, and it took a toll on me. And today I swore I will only save lives. So before you start ridiculing these people saying they have bad attitudes, go down to the shelter, see firsthand for yourself what these people have to endure every single day. Okay? Again, kudos to J.J. Kinney, a commissioner. He went down there and he put a day in, and he saw firsthand what transpires there. Okay? Rather than ridicule this man, do what he did. Make a difference. Go down there. Educate yourself, okay? Not just educate yourself a little, educate yourself a lot, because a little education is a very dangerous thing. Be aware, due diligence. Don't waste that time on negativity. Focus on the positive. Help these people. Don't fight them, okay? Enough of the negative stuff with me also right now. With us today, we have Lorraine Clark. She is Pet Portraits. She is Nature Coast Therapy Dog Rescue, Courtroom Dogs for Children. She is everything and everyone. I've met Lorraine approximately 4 years ago at the shelter. First time I met her and her husband Rich, they were down at the shelter and they were taking photos of some of the dogs that are up for adoption. And then they would take the photo home, and Lorraine would paint these portraits of these dogs and offer this portrait to anyone who would adopt these dogs. One of the biggest success stories was a dog named Rusty that had brought back to the shelter numerous times. He was a Rottweiler mix, Rottweiler Pit Bull mix, and it seemed like there was no hope for him. But with the help of Lorraine Clark and her husband Rich, made a big difference in this dog's life. He was adopted by a veterinary group in the Villages that had just opened up, and he was a blood donor for them. He eventually wound up becoming one of the tech's adopted dogs, was at their wedding and everything, and today he's living the life of Riley. And we want to thank Lorraine Clark for that, and her husband for everything that they did. So with no further ado, we have before us Lorraine Clark, and we want to thank you for everything that you've done for us at the shelter and everything.
Thank you too. Yes, I remember that day meeting you. It was quite a great thing to meet somebody who was receptive to what we wanted to do, and you brought us out rusty right away. You knew who needed the help, and that was great. So I did focus on dogs that were pit mixes or older dogs or health issue dogs to help encourage adoption of them. And it did work out pretty well. I was going down there, walking dogs daily, volunteering, but the cost of gas
of course,
came into an issue, and my husband suggested that I use my talent to help, and that worked out really well. Did a good thing, saved a few lives.
Yes,
a few were good.
Yes, more than a few lives. She was invaluable to saving many, many lives there, and she still continues to do that. How did you, I mean, besides the fact that you were volunteering, got into doing the portraits and everything, what possessed you to want to start doing this, to give back to the community in this way?
My mother had passed away and left me, she was an artist as well, left me her watercolors, and I wanted to practice with her watercolors because I wasn't very good at them. I wanted to do a good thing in her memory. And so the first thing I painted was my own dog. And from there, everybody started wanting paintings. And then again, my husband brought the idea of doing the shelter animals to help them get adopted. Once that started, people heard of me, and I've now taken it to a part where not only am I doing art, but I am an AKC evaluator for Canine Good Citizen.
Right.
I am an evaluator for Nature Coast Therapy dogs, and my dog is now a courtroom dog for children in the 5th District. And the paintings that I do now, they are done with donations. They donate to Courtroom Dogs for Kids, which is a great organization. It's becoming national. It's spreading through Florida like wildfire. It's been so receptive. It's not the first, and we're coming across other groups who are also doing this. And we're all connecting, and it's becoming a great connection of people who love dogs and children. So with a donation, you can get a great painting to Courtroom Dogs. If you go to Facebook, Lorraine D. Pet Portraits,
all right,
and go from there.
We'll be back with a lot more information with Lorraine Clark and everything. We'll get to show you some of her wonderful work she's done. We'll have other ways you can get in touch with her, and other ways you can contribute to help. So continue to watch, and we'll be here waiting for you. Thank you.